Very often life is about balance, and right now I'm trying to balance whether or not I wake Noah up. It's 10 minutes past the absolute latest he needs to get up to get ready at a reasonable pace for school, but he's knackered. So do I leave him to get up, be a bit late for school? Do I leave him to sleep and have to rush it around? I don't know. So I'm just sitting here drinking coffee, not making a decision. Let's see how that goes.
This is about 400 kinds of wrong. Waking up a small child when they're asleep. Noah has not yet woken up. He is usually awake about an hour before now, so I'm going to go wake him up. In fact, I'm not going to wake him up. I'm going to go and have a shower, and I'll let him wake up by himself. So you might see him come out in a minute. Yeah, he's not waking up by himself. What are the things you need to look for today that you have left at school? What are the things? 4 things.
My jumper, reading book, log book and blue book.
Yes. You're a gorgeous boy. Do you feel better having a lay-in?
Yes, but I've started bourbon and a cold.
And we are now ready and waiting. Not only did we get ready in half the time we usually take, but we got ready early. High five. Noah had a lie-in and got to school on time. In fact, we were waiting for the people that take him to school. High five myself. Yes! So we ended up getting Noah off to school this morning, on time, with all the things he needed, and even with a little note to remind him to bring back the things that he forgot. And I say we managed to do that because Danielle and I made those decisions together because of technology, because she could look in on him. She knew that he was still asleep when he should have been up. I was able to sort of call her to video chat her. Video chat is amazing because she can communicate so much better visually than she can verbally, and so it was amazing to be able to make those decisions together, to decide whether to get him up and kind of go, well, actually I think we should leave him for a bit and I think we can manage to get this done. And then to have her support when I was getting him dressed, because she can see on the webcam and she can talk to him on the webcam, to have her sort of able to weigh in. So technology is playing such an amazing part in Danielle's recovery and in keeping us together as a family unit. Even just being able to make these videos, to video chat with Danielle and to have her listening and watching when Noah's getting ready for bed and sleeping. It's just unbelievable that she can have that connection. I think back sort of 20-30 years and we would have been lucky if we managed to phone her or she managed to phone us, if she was in exactly the same position. That would have been amazing. That would have been all the contact outside of visiting that we would have had with her. So this is really, we are really blessed to have this. One of the really frustrating things about this is just the amount of time you spend sitting around waiting. Like I've spoken before about sitting in the queue for the car park at the hospital, which is annoying but kind of a minor annoyance. And then I go in and I sit with Danielle and we wait for someone to come by and say something or do something, and you know, we can chase it up and go and talk to them and they're like, yeah, there's nothing new really, we're just waiting, everybody's just waiting, and it feels like everything has slowed down. Daniel's doing fantastically well, he's better every day, but it feels like everything feels slower right now, and at the same time there's just less time for things. There's less time, it feels like there's less time together, there's less time for journeys, there's less time for eating, but at the same time we're still waiting. It's kind of a paradox, we're just waiting and there's no time. So frustrating. But every morning I make a coffee and bring it with me, or I have it at home, and I sit in the queue for the car park and I'm desperate for a wee. I will never learn. Hello, good evening. We had another lovely afternoon with Danielle home, just doing normal family stuff, just having picking Noah up from school, which is a huge deal for Danielle at the moment. She loves doing that, and dinner and a movie, and just sat together and chilled out for a bit. It's always such a wrench when Danielle goes home. My pet goes home when she goes back to hospital, because as difficult as it is to leave her at hospital, my parents come and pick her up, or have been picking her up, taking her back to hospital for us, which is so helpful because I can stay here with Noah. But it is a real wrench seeing her walk away, and it's so odd, because one of the great things about when we got married was that we always said that it would be so nice not to, we'd spend the day together and then have to separate, and it would be so nice to live in the same house and not have to separate at the end of the day, and have that little bit of quiet at the end of the day together. And we miss that because she goes away. I know it's the way it has to be, but it's a bit of a wrench. I feel like we're waiting at the moment, like we're doing a lot of waiting, just hanging around, waiting for people to make decisions, or for tests to come back, or whatever, really. The latest sort of theory that the medics have is that there's some sort of arrhythmia, some sort of weird rhythm that Danielle's heart goes into at some points, and that causes tiny little clots to form, and they build up. And what happens, and what they think happened, is when she went for a run the day before, it forced that clot out of her heart, and it got lodged in her brain, made its way around and got lodged in her brain. That's kind of the theory they're working to at the moment, and they want to implant a little recording device to see if she does have weird heartbeats at different times, because they haven't been able to catch anything so far while she was on the monitor in the hospital. Or she did have a 24-hour heart monitor thing a few years ago. They've not caught anything, but they think that might be that's their current theory. The consultant did say today that 30% of these cases just never, particularly in young people, there's just never a cause found. So that's what they're looking at doing, really, getting the cardiologists to put one of those in. So we'll wait to see what the cardiologists say. More waiting. It is frustrating. I know these things take time, but she does feel like she's just sitting around. She sits around and waits for a speech therapist to come and sit with her for a few minutes, and then sits around waiting for the rounds, and then comes home and then goes back. And yeah, it's just a waiting game at the moment. It is frustrating, but it's kind of necessary, really, I suppose, because the one thing that this recovery is going to take, is going to need lots of, is time. So there is a lot of waiting to see each day how things have changed. It is really frustrating. Anyway, thank you for your love and your support. Thank you for the messages that you send Danielle. She can't respond to them. She has difficulty reading them, so I read them to her. She doesn't. Sometimes she'll respond through me or whatever, but she's not up to reading full sentences or writing full sentences, really. At the moment, that's really, really tricky for her. So if you do message her, that's why you won't probably get a response. But she does appreciate everything that people send to her, so thank you for doing that. Enjoy your day, hug the people that you love, and thanks for watching. Take care, bye.